Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. I've got XRP up here on the chart right now. XRP trading at 39.6, still maintaining a healthy level after we did see XRP retrace. I mean, we're seeing the entire market retrace a little bit right now. It is positive to see XRP, kind of doing the same thing that the rest of the market is doing. In the past, I don't know if you guys remember, for those of you guys who have been around in previous bull cycles, I don't know if you remember this. There was a point where it felt like XRP was dumping when everything else was pumping, and it almost felt like XRP hodlers could not catch a break price-wise during this bear market of 2008. So we've improved a little bit. Bitcoin here. We'll bring up Bitcoin on the chart. Bitcoin trading at 22,988. So for all intents and purposes, roughly $23,000. And as you guys can see on the chart, XRP mimicking the Bitcoin pattern. Huge move up in January. And then February, a bit of a downtrend, but still maintaining some positive price levels. Here's Bitcoin on the hourly, guys. You guys can see on the micro time frame, we are staying above, or rather, Bitcoin is staying above this level of support here. So finding support in and around 22,600. We bounced off that once, twice, and moving to the upside now. Hopefully what we are seeing on this micro time frame is a double bottom pattern. And I mean, keep going back to this. A lot of this is going to depend on broader market conditions, not just for cryptocurrency, but for what's going on globally. So if I bring up the total market here for the entire crypto market, let me throw it on the daily. So we can get a sense of what is going on with regards to daily crypto activity. You can see down here, so just taking a look at the volume, we're not seeing as much volume, for example, back in 2021. So, I mean, this move is good, but crypto investors, traders, they still really haven't re-entered the market in a meaningful enough capacity to really give us those gigantic pops that are really going to bring the market up. But I happened to see this in the news, and so this kind of got me wondering. Binance to suspend USD bank transfers on February the 8th, guys, which is tomorrow. This coming from a spokesperson, suspension expected to last a couple of weeks. So for those people who are looking to deposit USD into Binance, they are now not able to. So take a look at this, guys. Binance has confirmed to Decrypt that the exchange plans to pause bank transfers of US dollars this week. We are temporarily suspending USD bank transfers as of February the 8th, and they said it will last a few weeks. Affected customers will be notified directly. It's worth noting, though, and so this is from their statistics here, it's worth noting, though, that only 0.01% of our monthly active users leverage USD bank transfers, but that we are working hard to restart service as soon as possible. Peculiar to note that all of a sudden, out of the blue, their USD deposits are the only ones that need maintenance. The Binance representative said all other methods of buying and selling crypto on the exchange will remain unaffected, including deposits and withdrawals for euros. Binance users will also be able to continue buying and selling crypto with credit cards, so on and so forth. So only the US dollar. Could this have to do with that story we heard about the other day with regards to SWIFT cutting off deposits and targeting specific cryptocurrency exchanges, making it so that only people depositing above $100,000 will be the only ones to be able to deposit through SWIFT? So we don't have more news than this. They're saying it's only going to affect 0.01% of their client base. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Wanted to thank DB here on Twitter for posting that. Also happened to see this, guys, from the Wrath of Kahneman with regards to Ripple partner TerraPay. So great news here for TerraPay and Bay on Money. Looks like they just formed a partnership. TerraPay, a leading global payments infrastructure company, announced its partnership with Bay on Money. And as part of this partnership, the company will enable a large addressable remittance market in Bahrain to transact across all key corridors, enabling customers with a swift, secure, and affordable network for real-time payouts to their loved ones. Customers can now make instant payouts from Bahrain to all key corridors, including India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, the Philippines, Kenya, Uganda, Cameroon, Ghana, Thailand, and Indonesia. So covering Southeast Asia pretty much, and parts of Africa as well. In the last 20 years, the GCC's remittance industry has undergone a rapid transition. The total cost of remittances sent abroad by GCC nations increased from about $25.77 billion to over $118 billion during that time. So that is a 20-year increase representing about 357%. 20 years, although, is a long time, and we've seen a lot of development in that area. And the customer demand has become more sophisticated. Just down here, as the digital remittance remittance market continues to grow in the Middle East region. Customers and remitters today demand an unshakable and agile infrastructure to drive boundless, small value, large volume payments globally. And TerraPay, guys, is going to be in the back end of this, obviously leveraging Ripple technology, partnering up with this company in Bahrain. Servicing the Middle Eastern region and Southeast Asia. I mean, it sounds like a match made in heaven, considering there's already regulatory clarity for cryptocurrencies in these regions and XRP. There's no question marks about XRP. And so with this partnership, they want to bring the world closer. And on the other hand, Bayon Money is propelling the region's digital transformation by addressing access, reliability, and affordability needs to enable more customers to make secured and swift instant transactions. So some interesting news there coming from Ripple partner TerraPay. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. And guys, I happen to see another one here from the Wrath of Kahneman with another Ripple partner included in this piece of news. SendFriend is an ODL user, and they have now recently acquired compliance provider DigiPly. So here we have it, SendFriend, a B2B fintech company reinventing how companies send and receive cross-border payments, has acquired the assets of U.S. compliance provider DigiPly for an undisclosed sum. So we don't know how much, but they have just recently acquired this company. It's interesting to see now all these Ripple companies. I've said this before, how, these were small companies 3, 4, 5 years ago. And now they're becoming so efficient, so big, likely accumulating a bigger client base, that now they are looking to acquire other companies. And this is what's going to get the RippleNet ecosystem growing. One of the first companies to settle payments on the blockchain, SendFriend, is a financial services and technology company focused on providing a seamless business-to-business payment solution to banks and financial institutions. And they need access to the U.S. market. DigiPly's technology boasts the next generation AML model, where a single trusted partner provides a bundled package of all systems, staffing, tools, and data a financial institution needs to design, implement, and manage an efficient and robust customer onboarding program from start to finish. So you can see why these guys, why the partnership would make sense. SendFriend recognizes that many non-U.S. companies face challenges sending and receiving international payments in a cost-effective and timely manner due to complexity and risk. This acquisition will enable SendFriend to embed additional compliance controls into its offering and assist it not only streamlining its cross-border payment business, but also reducing risk. And with regards to the benefits of this partnership, guys, here's a quote. This acquisition brings another level of automation and technology to our sanctions, screening, and AML controls. This coming from David Lighton, SendFriend CEO and co-founder. Our clients and sponsor banks will take comfort in our enhanced technology offering as we continue to scale our platform in 2023. So SendFriend looking to continue to grow. A Ripple partner, so great news here. We'll have to watch and see how this continues to build. Wanted to thank again the Wrath of Kahneman just for posting that. Now, happened to see this. I feel like I missed this last year. This was a report from Korea that came out in March of 2022, so almost a year ago. And I don't remember it, although I do a show or sometimes two daily. So maybe my memory is just not serving me correctly. Apparently this came out. Here is the policy framework for blockchain and digital assets in Korea. And look at the partners, guys, GBC, Ripple, and Oxford Metrica. Now, in this report outlining XRP and how it can be utilized in a meaningful capacity. And as per Real XRP Boy here, a very bold statement. The digital asset XRP is ideally suited for global payments because it is quicker, less costly, more scalable and sustainable than any other digital asset. So perhaps we're going to see more XRP utility in the country of South Korea soon. I do apologize if you guys already knew this piece of news. It was new to me, so I thought I'd just bring it to you anyway. And I will link this in the description if you guys want to read further. A 28-page policy paper coming out of Korea that is heavily focused on Ripple and XRP. Want to keep moving, guys, because some more updates, some more interesting news coming out of the XRP lawyer community here on Twitter. This one's from Jeremy Hogan with regards to the Ripple case, Howie, and we're going to get into John Deaton tackling another case here. So Jeremy Hogan posted this. Ripple's an investment contract requires post-sale obligations argument is front and center in another SEC action. Hopefully the Blue Sky Law Agreement Ripple becomes a tsunami. Now he is referring to this, guys, and David Schwartz actually just outlines what this is from. Here's a link to the document. I've only skimmed it, but it sounds like they take a lot of the language from our motion to dismiss. Now, here it is up here. It's just loading from Court Listener, Security and Exchange Commission versus Wahi. The date filed on this was just the other day, just yesterday, February the 6th, and it's looking as though they are actually taking a page out of Ripple's lawyers' arguments to fight the SEC against their alleged securities offering. So it goes as such, the tokens are not investment contracts under the securities law. The term investment contract has a long history. Even before the federal securities laws, which themselves date to the Great Depression, the phrase investment contract was a term of art for financial dealings that differed in some ways from traditional securities like stocks and bonds, but that still had the essential characteristics of a security. So again, I guess I should just clarify if it wasn't clear at the beginning. This is from the Wahi versus SEC case, rewording basically what Ripple's lawyers were also saying to essentially defend Ripple against this same point here that the SEC is trying to make. So in the main, investment contracts cover business ventures that involve the sale of some assets like land or an oil lease, coupled with certain legally binding promises by the seller to manage or develop the asset in a profitable manner. Canonical examples include one-off enterprises like a businessman selling tracts of land upon which he promised to maintain a range of profitable orange groves. So they bring it back to the orange grove example, or beaver breeders who sell beavers along with a promise to raise the animal for later sale at a profit. Interesting to note that they are using similar language here. As per David Schwartz, obviously, it's looking as though other lawyers are realizing how successful Ripple is going to be in this case, and I guess they want to get ahead of the curve. Maybe in the Wahi case specifically, maybe they're feeling like they're going to see a Ripple verdict before they see their own verdict. So using similar language and using basically the same argument would definitely bode well for their case. Interesting news here. I wanted to thank Jeremy Hogan and David Schwartz just for sharing this, the Wahi paper here. I will link this in the description again if you guys want to read further. Now, John Deaton is to file a motion for amicus in the Ripple versus Zakinov case. The Ripple versus SEC case is not the only case that a payment company is fighting against. Of course, there is the Zakinov case that was from January of 2015. And some similarities in that case is that Vladi Zakinov, who is the plaintiff, he also claims that Ripple has sold XRP as an unregistered security. Further claims that the complainant has also demanded redactions of preliminary and other unsuccessful settlement discussions with the SEC. However, Ripple has opposed the lawsuit, refusing to release the documents. And so what has happened next? Well, John Deaton stands against allegations in the Ripple versus Zakinov case. I gotta say, John Deaton, #1 warrior in the XRP community, standing up for the community legally. Now John Deaton, who is an attorney and amicus in the Ripple SEC case, is trying to push back the allegations made in the Zakinov versus Ripple case. Deaton has come up with a motion to file an amicus brief in Zakinov versus Ripple. So James K. Filan here posted the update originally. I'll read you guys this. So John Deaton will be filing a motion to file an amicus brief in Zakinov versus Ripple in California. There, the plaintiffs claim that Ripple sold XRP as an unregistered security. They are asking the court to certify a class of all XRP holders who purchased and now hold XRP who are or who sold XRP at a loss. The proposed class would include XRP holders worldwide, including the 75,890 XRP holders around the world who disagree with the plaintiffs in Zakinov and say XRP is not a security. Also, the proposed class is not limited to direct sales by Ripple and includes all sales of XRP, including secondary sales and international sales in countries where XRP has already been determined to be not a security. John Deaton will argue, among other things, that the court should not certify the class because of these conflicts and because there is only a small number of XRP holders who claim XRP is an unregistered security, while so many XRP holders worldwide claim it's not. So in a nutshell, John Deaton yet again coming in and fighting on behalf of the 75 plus holders that he has collected over the years that he's fighting for in the main case, and basically fighting the same thing here. So just down here, John Deaton will argue that those small number of plaintiffs in Zakinov cannot fairly represent so many who disagree with them, including XRP holders in places where XRP is not even considered a security. So that's the other thing, right? These are worldwide holders, not just located in the United States. And so the securities laws certainly would not apply to XRP in their case if they're from Europe or Canada or Australia or wherever, really. Fred Rispoli down here saying, being familiar with the class actions, the class certification battle is the most important fight in these types of cases. So yeah, Fred Rispoli, another XRP community lawyer, pointing out the obvious here. The classification is really, we really have to drill down on that because that is really going to be the crux of all these cases and probably more cases moving forward as soon as the SEC starts suing other companies. John coming in here in this capacity is a real kick in the balls to plaintiff counsel, and I don't disagree with John, but the ball kick cannot be overstated. I completely agree with you, Fred. Patrick down here, who's backing Zakinov? Follow the money. Interesting because, yeah, Zakinov is this small case where I feel like if I can remember this correctly, it was from 2018. I know down here it said 2015, but I feel like it was from 2018. And I feel like he lost something like $500 trading XRP in the bull run of 2017. He bought at the high and sold, and he only had $500 worth of XRP or something like that. And yet he decided to file a lawsuit against Ripple. Kind of comical. And so why is this still going on in court? Why has the judge not dismissed this yet? Another question that piques my interest. Jeffrey Miller down here saying, sorry, Zakinov doesn't speak for me. When I first bought XRP, I was looking at what FinCEN called it, which they said it was a virtual currency. Thank you to John Deaton for stepping in. I mean, we need guys like John Deaton in this case because he is fighting for the little guy, and I mean, yeah, Ripple's lawyers are great. It's good to have manpower on the ground. And hopefully John Deaton will secure a win for XRP holders with regards to this case as well. So James K. Filan, wanted to thank him for posting that. Obviously, John Deaton for all the work he has been doing. Finally, guys, wanted to bring you this clip here from Link2. Now, this is Jack McDonald, the CEO of PolySign, a company that was originally developed with the help of David Schwartz and Arthur Brito, the CTO of Ripple and a former Ripple employee and one of the key creators of the XRPL, respectively. So here's Jack McDonald, the CEO of PolySign, and he talks a little bit more about the Wahi test, the lawsuit, and how this is going to affect more cryptos moving forward.
We need clarity on definitionally the taxonomy of what these assets are. Using the Wahi test to determine what's a security, many would argue, and you can put me in this camp, that I think it was used for an Orange Grove lawsuit back in the 50s, I believe. So arguably could use a bit of a refresh given all that's transpired since then. And by the way, I think the Wahi test has largely served the industry well, but I think we're into a new paradigm. And so doing some grunt work to update the test, the litmus test on what's a security and what's not would be super helpful. And I think the spill out of that will then properly put regulation in one of the different agencies. I think the president's order from earlier this year essentially said there's a there and go regulate it. We've had some great first move sort of legislative attempts from Senator Gillibrand and Loomis and others. And really what they're doing is opening the box and saying, let's start putting our comments in here and let's work together across the aisle to come up with some prudent and informative regulatory guidance for the industry. And so we're all just looking to get started here. And as I said earlier, we've had some early steps of progress. Midterm elections have a way of slowing that down. But whether it's the SEC or the CFTC, it feels to me like the SEC would be broader than the CFTC, so probably better, although not everything's going to be deemed to be a security. And so I don't know what you do with a Bitcoin or Ethereum or an XRP, once they adjudicate that. So we probably don't end up with one regulator alone, number one. And number two, there's going to be an interesting mix or hybrid solution between what's federal and what's state. Right now at PolySign and Standard Custody, we have a New York Trust Company license. We have reciprocity with a bunch of other states. And then we have a number of other statewide money transmitter licenses, which allow us to do business in those states. We're also in the process of getting a broker dealer for AtomicNet. We're FinCEN regulated. So we've got a bit of an alphabet soup of regulators that we need to deal with here in the US. That's before we trip over the border and go to Europe or Asia, where there's a whole host of other regulatory bodies to deal with. But it would be great in the US to have a more consolidated framework from which to operate. It's expensive, it's time consuming, it's resource intensive, and it's not always consistent complying with all the different regulatory requirements here in the US.
So an interesting perspective here from Jack McDonald. Now, he talks a little bit about the alphabet soup of regulators, and I was surprised when he said the SEC was most likely the best option for regulating cryptocurrencies. In the same breath, though, he did mention that not everything can be deemed a security. The Wahi test is definitely outdated, and we need a new test, a Ripple test perhaps. Who knows what's going to come out of this lawsuit? I am feeling positive, though. And although the crypto market is kind of settling down right now, the potential for coins that have true value like XRP is building more and more as the days go on. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.